Yeah, let the big dog hunt. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kallas Remarks. We're there, Joe Staszak and Steve Kallas. Week two in the books, Steven. Some exciting stuff to talk about. How are you?
All good, Joe. Great to be with you as always.
You too. All right. Well, the marquee game, at least it was billed as the marquee game. Eagles and Chiefs. They talk about it as the Super Bowl rematch. I don't really look. The stakes are a lot higher last February, but fine. I'll go along. And the Eagles defense certainly, a lot of the players turned over and blah blah blah, but
Yeah.
they won the game, and they did it kind of the way they do it. And I've always defended them in terms of, hey, listen, calm down, everyone. It's survive in advance, win the game, and then fix the problems, and then try it again next week. But their offense, it's a little rough to watch, when under 100 yards total, and through two games, AJ Brown has six catches for 35 yards, and Devontae Smith has like seven catches for 69 yards. Come on, guys, let's get the passing game going. But they still won the game. They're 2-0, stack the wins, and I thought Sirianni said something interesting that people think that it's a continuation of last year from last February. But no, it does take a while, and you have new guys, and things have to get, into a rhythm. This is how they started last year. They were actually 1-1 last year. Remember, Barkley dropped the ball, and
Yes.
then they got killed by Tampa in week four, and almost lost to the Browns in week five. Fine, they still have an elite cast. Kansas City, you can see that they're bereft of talent, I think. And Mahomes, even sometimes some throws, he was missing guys. And Kelsey, the sure-handed Kelsey, dropped a touchdown that went into Andrew McCuba's hands and really turned the game around. The one turnover there, the one turnover against Dallas, the Miles Sanders fumble really has helped the Eagles turn the game around. And little things like that. The Eagles are 2-0, 20-17. They went down the field. They did score a touchdown. Gave up a late one, but it was a grind, kind of like the Eagles do, a lot of tush pushes in the fourth quarter. Um, what'd you think?
I think the Eagles find a way to win, and I think the Chiefs aren't quite the Chiefs. Chiefs are still good. Chiefs could have won that game,
Yeah, could
but
have won a game,
it,
absolutely.
it's hard to believe Kelsey would drop that pass after the shorter one, not at the goal line, but the one where he went like almost down to his ankles and
It was
caught
6 inches off the ground, then he
it,
starts holding it like this.
like that. Um, But again, he's to me, he's not Kelsey. I don't know how his blocking is. I should watch that. But the Chiefs are really good, but they're not the Chiefs. And I think you're right about Mahomes, 16 for 29 for 187, one touchdown and the one pick. He also had a rushing touchdown. He's using his legs a lot more, it seems to
It's
me.
like he's the team.
Yeah, well, he is the
He
team.
is the team.
And I don't think they're bereft of talent. I think they're bereft of speed, and I think they're going to get the speed back. But I just don't know when Worthy's coming back, and Rashid Rice is coming back,
He's
after
got
game.
four more games.
Yeah, so I think they will get that. But they still have Spags who cause problems for the Eagles. But Hurts also burned him once or twice, which is once or twice more than usual.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was. Was it Jones and Hurts mouthing off to each
Yeah, at
other?
the end of the game.
And they said what they said. I know Hart said, look at the scoreboard or something,
Well,
which I
Jones said, you don't even have 100 yards.
but so what? But so
Well,
what?
we won the effing game.
That's all that matters.
All that matters.
That's
Scoreboard
all.
never lies.
So I think look, the Chiefs are in trouble. They're 0-2, and they're not the Chiefs right now.
Can you explain to
Um,
me, and I'll let you, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish, but Travis Kelce, I know when I see running backs, they lose a step or they lose something. Travis Kelce, three games now, Super Bowl, he beat himself up for it. He just said he wished he had better leadership or something in that game. Remember, he only had four catches for 39 yards. His first catch came in the third quarter. And then game one in Brazil, he beat himself up for not giving the proper depth to his route, and he took out one of his receivers, dislocated his shoulder, and Xavier Worthy.
not worthy,
And
yeah.
then he drops a touchdown in the next game. Like I've never seen your hands go down. I mean, hands are hands, and he did make a nice catch. Like what's going on with him?
I thought
13th year in the league. I get it, but
I
really?
thought I thought he was going to retire. Um,
You think
I'm not
he's
gonna
got marrying the billionaire on his mind? Like I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so. I just think, he's
Not like
getting
she dumped
older.
him.
He's getting older, and I thought he was going to retire. And the better question was, if they had won three in a row, did he want to go out a winner? Would he have retired then?
I think he probably. Well, I don't know. He might have. Let's try to defend the title, but
And
they
I
got
think
smacked, and then they got smacked in Brazil a little bit, and then they got beat at home like three in a row. And the Eagles have beaten them three in a row,
right, and Chiefs have never Mahomes has never lost three in a row until now. If you go back to last year, the Super Bowl,
and
he
two at
won three in
Arrowhead
a row.
against the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah. So look, I think the Eagles do what they have to do to win. Uh, I think the Eagles and the Packers, after watching everybody now for another week, I think they're the two best teams. Is Buffalo in the neighborhood? I guess. I'll never say the Ravens were in the neighborhood because they're always in the neighborhood, but they can never get into the neighborhood, I
They
guess.
can't. But don't you think, as a viewer, and I know that you, since we've been doing this, you cover Philly sports pretty closely and watch closely, but they're a tough watch sometimes. I mean, they find ways to win, but I wrote an article yesterday. They have a West Wing cast, but the watchability of C-SPAN, like that was a tough watch. That was a tough. I'll send it to you. That was a tough
That's
watch.
good.
Like it's like, come on, fellas. Like you have all this explosiveness. Listen, Jamar Chase had 14 catches with a backup quarterback because Burrow left, before the half. Russ Wilson throws for half 1,000 yards against a team you barely got a buck 52 out of last week. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, well, it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy the way it's gone because I think more teams, and I think this started last year because we talked about the comeback of the running back last year because suddenly everybody was running the ball. And if you can run the ball and move it, obviously that's going to make your quarterbacks a lot better. But also, if you can really ram it down somebody's throat, you might as well just ram it down somebody's throat. You don't have to throw it that much. But when you do throw it, you have a much better chance. So I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, it's what you said, whatever you think of Russell Wilson, 450 yards is 450 yards.
He tore up the Cowboys. Look, he kind of went Brett Favre in the overtime with that pop fly, but he was sharp. And, he's got Malik Neighbors who had you know how bad their offense was last year? He had like 109 catches. That's a lot of catches for a rookie he had Tommy Cutledge and he had Daniel Jones for a while. Like, that's a lot of catches. So now he has an elite receiver, and they're better than people think. The Giants are.
They are.
Um, but they played a Cowboy team, and I got to be honest, Dak looks like a different player. And he talked about his offseason. We'll talk about the Cowboys now and Giants. He had an off-season training program where he really got his legs back. Like he said, I hadn't been using them, but now he worked on them. I thought he's been sharp in two games. And that Aubrey, the kicker, like he's this next, maybe this, I won't say generation because Justin Tucker was pretty recent, but to me, he seems like Justin Tucker, like a new Justin Tucker. Like this guy made a 64. That used to be the record. Remember Tom Dempsey had a 63 yarder? I think
Sure
Jason
do.
Elam had 60. That was used to be the record, and he banged it, to
No,
send the game into overtime.
it's only a matter of time before he breaks that record. The problem for the Giants, and I think intelligent NFL people will pick up on this when they play the Cowboys. You can't play your soft defense when frankly, if they get the ball to the 46, 47-yard line, it's very makeable for this guy. He's unbelievable. And I think they kind of played off the ball. And sure enough, and then Dak had that run that made it a chippy in overtime to win the game. But
46
to tie
yarder.
the game, if you hold the guy in any year except this year and maybe last year, if you held the guy to a 64-yard field goal to win or lose the game, you were going to win the game.
Should we
You're going
check
to
the
win the
balls?
game
Or is this?
99 out of 100 times. With this guy, you got to make it so like he's going to kick it from 70. And here's the news flash. He's going to make one from
I'll bet
70.
I'll bet at some point he's going to make a 70 yarder.
But you have to have a different mindset when you have a kicker like that. Now, there aren't many kickers like that. Although I'm going to guess there are a couple guys with really strong legs, but nothing like this guy. He's alone by himself. But again, if you know that this is the guy, and this is the guy for kicking long field goals, you got to play totally differently on defense, I think, because this is why I think they lost the game because of the first one, not necessarily the second one, because Dak with that scramble made the second one. You talk about a chip shot. I don't know if you watched the field goal to win the game from 46, it was like the guy was kicking it from the 10-yard line. I mean, it was just he like kicked his leg in slow motion to put it right down the middle. He didn't have to put a lot of leg into that one, if any leg for him. But I'll say it again, when you're playing Dallas and a field goal can tie or win the game against you, I think you have to play it totally different.
I would
And
agree.
they played for 100 years.
Well,
Go
so
ahead, kick
everyone
one from 64. You can't make that. Well, here's a news flash. This guy can make it and he can make it a lot.
a lot. I want to talk about Detroit a little bit. They looked terrible in the first game in Lambeau, and maybe there's some had to do with how Green Bay played, but they just went in and they did their thing. And it was interesting because it was against Ben Johnson's team, the Bears, who was with a big reason for the Detroit success the year before, but they got shellacked. I mean, 52 points. I mean, they looked explosive from jump, like explosive as they did. So I think Detroit's still a serious contender. 52 to 21. And I'm not sure. I mean, Caleb Williams on script, sorry, on script was pretty good, but once the scripts are done and he's got to go, he did not look good.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they thought this would be a close game. I guess because the Lions were manhandled, but they were manhandled by the Packers. And the Packers, you can argue right now, are the best team, period. If you had to do power rankings now, I think it would be
They
Packers.
seem pretty sharp. They seem sharp
Right.
in all aspects.
Right.
Even Jordan
So,
Love, who I think is going to implode at some point. I thought he was good, really good.
yeah, well, we'll see. But again, the Bears, I think they spent a lot of money. I did read the article you sent me about the
It's
quarterback.
amazing. I still see now. I won't look at them the same every time I watch the Bears.
Yeah,
And
kind
and
of same.
people have brought this up that Ben Johnson, that's not his guy. Like that's not his quarter. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys who was the coach and they bring a guy, that's your guy. I drafted him, or I supported the drafting of him. He's not really connected to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is he was the number one pick of the Bears, and that's going
No,
to be
I
a
understand. And Ryan Poles, I
great
mean, you read
thing.
the same article I did. He was a big, a
Yeah.
big proponent of Caleb Williams.
I did want to go back to the Giant game briefly, just for one thing, just one of my pet peeves, and you can tell me I'm the old guy, but and I'm a Giants fan forever. But the Neighbors is great. He makes an incredible catch to give them the lead late in the game. You saw Wilson, he was like, the lineman picked him up, but he was like, hallelujah. And then when Neighbors is coming back for the extra point, he does this thing, which I was hoping Steph Curry would never continue to do, but he does do that now because I don't know.
It's
This is
putting
what
the
we do
other team to
now.
sleep.
Yeah,
One, I don't like it. Two, you better make sure you win the game if you're going to do that.
exactly, exactly. So you can't even do it. I know we're going to talk about Tampa Bay, but even when Tampa Bay was up with 6 seconds left, I'm watching the game and I said, I don't know if this game is over. But that's my point. Do it. Well, you should, to me, you should not. To me, it's Bush League. Act like you've been there before. You've heard all these things, right? Where's Barry Sanders to give the ref the ball? That kind of stuff. You got to go back 30 years now to find guys who give the ref the ball. But my point is, why are you doing this? What's the point? Because you look like an idiot when you lose.
When you lose,
And what do you look like if you win the game? Is that cool now? Maybe it's cool because Steph Curry does it, but I don't think it is cool, even if Steph Curry does
I
it.
don't
What-
listen.
What's the
Look,
point?
look, the scoreboard. Where's my thing? The scoreboard never lies. You don't need to trash talk. And I feel like I'm the old guy now. The curmudgeon. Kids today. You know what I mean? Like I feel like,
But that's what happened yesterday with Jones and Hurts. Hurts said
yeah.
the right thing. He didn't do this, but he said the right thing. He said, "Look at the scoreboard," and good for him. I mean, Hertz has come a long way, but he's really now he knows how to win. He's much more mature. He can use his legs at will. I don't know if he was, I mean, he could always use his legs, but now he's using it even smarter. I don't know if you saw Herbert did it a bunch of times yesterday. He's got to be 100% healthy at will. But I guess this is just, after every play. And this is all Mark Gastineau's fault, by the way. He was the first one to do like a sack dance or
Yeah,
whatever. But now every play, every tackle, you guys jumping up and down, screaming, you just made a tackle. And again, when you score a touchdown, I don't know, make like you've been there before. But now these guys, when there's an interception, they run 80 yards to the other side of the end zone
I
and
can't stand when they do that. The
they
defense
got
does
like a
that.
dance. Have you seen the bowling pins one?
I've seen it before.
They
Yeah,
all fall down. I'm like, come on, fellas, really? But look, that's where we are. That's not going to
I
change.
agree. Hell, the
I
Eagles
just like,
defense, they do it and they do the tush push. Like it's okay, that's kind
yeah.
of cute, but like I
Well,
don't need,
I will say one quick word on the tush push because yesterday, and I think you told me about another time, but yesterday was the first time where you had a clear-cut view of two guys on the Eagles going off sides. Yeah, going false
legal
start.
procedure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, Joe. I've been fine with the tush push, but now they only needed 2 votes to get rid of it last year. And after seeing that game, and that was a gigantic play in that game. After seeing that play, so it should have been 4th and 5 or 6 instead of 4th and inches. That changes the complexion of the game. I'm not saying the Eagles would have lost. I'm not saying the Chiefs would have won, but that was so blatant. And maybe it's just very, very hard to look, but there should have been a ref on that side who saw two guys jump. I don't know. Have you ever seen? Did you tell me they did call?
I can tell you this, when I'm before that play with ball was snapped, that was my biggest concern because I go back to the Rams game in the playoffs. They
Oh,
had
right, right.
fourth and goal at the half-foot line for the ball game. That's it. The Rams, it
Yeah,
becomes a two-score game. Lane Johnson, I didn't even see it, but remember there was some talk that the Rams kind of made some noise and Lane Johnson jumped a little bit. They moved it back 5. They had to kick a field goal, which kept the Rams in the game. It's a big
yeah.
difference, a half foot to 5 yards. So,
The flip side of that, though, Joe, given those two examples, is it possible this isn't the blatant hold or the Sean Payton pass interference to not make the playoffs, where it was wide open and everybody could see it? That wasn't this. And so how can you really tell if they made it or not? You're guessing on the not just for these, I mean for any of them. You're guessing. I mean, a lot with the Eagles, it's like always good, but you're guessing on it, especially when other teams are doing it now. But I don't know how you change it from the tush push to the quarterback sneak. What, you're just going to say you can't push a guy from behind? Is that what it's going to
yeah,
be?
that's what it's
I,
going to be.
I just think if you were watching that game objectively and you saw that call at that part of the game, where if you're ever going to see one where there's like, where false starts, I mean, you had two guys virtually next to each other, not directly next to each other, but whoever the ref was on the far side could have seen two guys and there was no call. And again, I'm not saying it would have changed the game, but it would have changed the complexion of the
Oh,
game.
sure it would have. I don't
And
know
I'm
why
not
they didn't
sure.
call it. I mean, I've seen them call it on the Eagles before.
Yeah,
Funny though. I
I take
felt,
that. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, I felt watching it when Dean Blandino, who's kind of like the officiating guy, chimes in and says, I'm done with the tush push. I saw the next day Adam Schefter said he's done with it. I heard Mike Green. It was almost like it was fatigue, tush push fatigue. There were 7 of them and they converted on 5. Now I'm seeing today, Schefter's talking about how unstoppable it is, Rich. I like it's almost like they reversed it. But when I saw the game on Sunday, I said that's probably going to be the end of the tush push.
Well, again, they only need 2 votes, and I don't know how the voting went or who voted for what, other than who the Eagles voted for. But I think when you watch a game like this, first of all, to have 7 of them in one game is almost like I don't
That's a
even know how to
lot.
describe that. I mean, good for them; they could do it, and they made 5 out of 7, as you said. But I thought it took away from the game, and specifically this game. And again, I'm not saying the Chiefs would have won, but it would have been a different game. And you hate to see it like that. And I guess there's no way for them to really. I even sent you that text. What is it in the NBA? Is it in the NBA when there's a foul, they can look for something else, like if the guy walked before he got fouled or
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but you can't do that in the NFL, as you brilliantly pointed out to me. But I'm sitting there going, so let's suppose they went to see if he made it or not, and you see two guys jump. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
Nothing you could do. Yeah.
So
You
that's the
missed
rules the
it.
way they are. But I'm not afraid. If it's here, it's here. If it's gone, it's gone.
I have a
I
feeling it's going away. Because
well,
look, like, forget about all the stuff we're talking about. Like, it's not the greatest television, you know what I mean? Like, objectively, if you're watching, what is this? What is this? Now, did he make it? I can't see if he made it. All right, they gave it to away. Is there a fumble? Did these guys go? It was kind of a lot of stuff happened.
remember that one with the maybe fumble? Somehow one of the Chiefs came out of
Yeah,
there.
Chiefs kind of grabbed it, but right, yeah. So a lot of stuff was going on.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I'm gonna have to read those articles when I'm done. So I want to talk about again. You mentioned in pre-show the Colts. By the way, first time in NFL history, a team did not punt back-to-back games to open a season. Daniel Jones's Colts beat the Broncos, and they seemed like they lost because they missed a 60-yarder at the gun, and then there was personal foul on two guys from the Broncos that kind of used leverage to jump over and try to block a 60-yarder. Like, what do we do? It's a 60-yarder, guys.
Well, you can't ever do leverage, but if you're going to try, you have to try it on Aubrey of the Cowboys.
Yeah, right. I thought
I
that
will
was a
say
little
this,
ridiculous, but Daniel Jones
MVP, Daniel Jones for MVP.
he's playing ball.
What are Giant fans thinking now? He needed a better line for 6 years?
Yeah, I saw a quote from one GM that said, from people I trust, they said, look at Daniel Jones in the offseason. He wasn't part of the Colts, but he was going to get a look from a few teams because I think they thought that he had the ability and skill set in a different environment could succeed.
And so far that's been 100% right. That's a terrible loss for the Broncos,
That's a
but a
tough loss
stupid
for the
loss.
Broncos.
It's a stupid loss also though, because if anything on a 60-yarder for anyone but Aubrey, and I know other guys can make 60-yarders, you want to go out of your way not to. I mean, leverage is stupid on a 20-yarder to a 70-yarder,
Yeah,
but you got to make sure not to do it. But when you have a guy, can Schrader make those? Yeah, I guess he could make it, but it's more of a, I don't know. Aubrey, he can make it. There's a couple other guys with big legs, they can make it. So uh, I'm surprised at what the Broncos did. That Sean Payton, I don't know if what, you're supposed to call your special teams guys in and go, well, it's a 60-yarder. Whatever you do, don't jump on a guy in front of you. I mean,
it should.
you should know that,
That
obviously.
special teams coach should. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
Unless they were told, I don't know. They challenging the refs to make that call there at the end of the game. I don't know.
You're right.
But that was interesting. And one more game I want to talk about because it's a shame, like we talk about every year, the Bengals get off to this 0-2 start, 0-2 start. Oh, well, they're 2-0 this year, but they lost their quarterback, looks like for the year, Joe Burrow. Has the turf toe injury, which means ligament tears, and it looks like he's going to have surgery. Jake Browning came in. He did throw three picks, but he also threw two touchdowns, 241, and they beat the Jags 31-27.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the Jags are. The Bengals. I heard our RC yesterday on ESPN say the Bengals season is over. They lost Joe
Yeah,
Burrow.
I
And
don't think they're not going anywhere without
right,
Joe
from a
Burrow.
win it all perspective, the season is over. Can they make the playoffs? Well, they got off to a 2-0 start. Browning's not terrible. He's not
No, he's
terrible.
not Joe, but he's not Joe Burrow.
Right. But who is now?
Right. And
And
with
I
their
got to tell
defense,
you,
I mean,
you know, when you just go down the quarterback list quickly, Daniels has a knee sprain. We don't know if he's going to play this week. Burrow out for 3 months, as you said. JJ McCarthy, high ankle sprain. Didn't even look like he was hit, but he's got a high ankle sprain. And who's coming out of the woodwork? Carson Wentz, baby.
how about that?
And
Carson Wentz.
finally, Fields got a concussion, and maybe that's why the Bills game was a blowout. I thought it could be closer, but the Bills blew him out. But Fields has a concussion, and as of yesterday, which is only Monday, obviously, he hasn't, passed protocol. So could be Tyrod Taylor, who's not going to be there. But I don't know where the Jags are going. I don't think they're going nowhere, obviously, after
Well,
the
big question mark with the Vikings because they went with JJ McCarthy, saved money. Sam Darnold's back, he's up in Seattle. Won 14 games last year. You're going with a rookie. He's played one good quarter in two games. I'm not
right.
writing him off, but rookies don't usually step in and win 14 games or keep you in the mix when you have the Packers and Detroit in your division.
Yep.
He's been.
I did want to mention quickly Tampa Bay yesterday. I don't know how Baker Mayfield does it, but he does it. It's just another of these incredible finishes. This Ibuka guy is really, really good. So they miss Godwin, but when he comes back, my goodness. And Evans is still a threat. So look, they were lucky to win 20-19, and they won. Didn't they win in like the last minute or two last week as well? Give them credit, but this is what Baker Mayfield has become an excellent quarterback, I think. And
I think
he's on
so
the right
too.
team. The Texans defense is really good, but when he had to go down the field and score a touchdown, he went down the
80
field.
yards, had to go 80 yards in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they had one timeout left, which is why they could run the ball with 9 seconds left.
Yeah, right,
If
exactly.
they had no timeouts left, the game's over.
So
So,
they're 2-0.
but a lot of quarterback injuries already. I don't know what happened to I didn't watch a lot of that game, but I watched some of it. What happened to the Steelers? I mean, what happened to them? They're
Oh, the
not that
Steelers.
the
Well, Aaron
defense.
Rodgers didn't look like Aaron Rodgers, and the Seahawks. The Steelers gave up a lot of points if you remember against the Jets. I don't think their
Yes,
defense is there this
you're
year.
right.
They gave up 17 fourth quarter points at
And
home.
did you see the rookie who let the ball bounce over his head, didn't run
I
after?
did. That's a problem too.
I
Yeah.
mean, now that you got to tell. I know the guy was a rookie, but you got to. It's like telling them you got to get 2 feet in bounds if you're a rookie receiver because one isn't enough. And when you have that kind of thing, the guy was running. He was jogging off the field.
You got to know that. That's a special teams coach. You gotta certainly drill that into these guys.
And I thought that was the game because, of course, Seattle had just scored. That's why they were kicking off. But
Another touchdown.
what
That's
are you gonna
back-to-back
do?
touchdowns in seconds.
Yep.
Well, good stuff, bro. A little baseball before we go. Just the Phillies clinched the NL East last night with a win over the Dodgers in extra innings. Interestingly enough, they did it in Chavez Ravine, where the Dodgers, I thought, with that roster, would run away with everything.
Me too.
They're still in a battle with the Padres, and the Phillies probably won't get the 1 seed. Milwaukee's ahead of them still with 14 days left or however many days. But Phillies got it done again. They've been playing pretty good ball, and at the same time, the Mets are now, in danger of not making the playoffs.
And boy, will they hear about it here where they spent all that money. Soto's having a good year, a real good year now. He was not so good at the beginning, but they just collapsed. I mean, I think they lost 8 in a row. I think they won the other night after that, but I think they lost 8 in a row, and that's taken them. There's one team a game and a half behind them for the last wild card, and there's two other teams that are 2 games behind. So, if one of those three goes on, say, like, I don't know, a 6 or 7 game winning streak, they're going to go ahead of the Mets. And maybe the Mets can go on one. They've been awful streaky all year. They've had some real ups and real downs, but now they're saying the manager is too much of a nice guy and he really doesn't have the experience and blah, blah, blah. Whereas in the middle of the year when they were in first place, which they were for a while, everything was fantastic. And their analytics guy is a genius. Stearns, is that his name, I think? But we'll have to see what happens. But hey, congratulations to the Phillies. They really turned it around. And I think Schwarber hit what, his 54th home run? Is that right?
Let me check. He's been unbelievable this year.
He's an MVP candidate, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is.
Oh, Schwarber 53. I'm sorry. Harper hit his 27th.
Yep.
But these guys, seems easier to hit home runs this year. That's all I'll say, Joe. It just seems easier.
And they're
But we'll
90th.
talk about that. We'll talk about that Friday or Saturday.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to more into baseball, but good stuff, my man. You can check out Steve's stuff on his daily Facebook forum page. Steve, speaking of sports, with Steve Kallas, also his videos on Westchester County Post.com. You can check out this podcast every Friday, sometimes Saturday mornings. We'll preview the NFL, and then we'll obviously recap it on Tuesday mornings here on YouTube and all the audio outlets. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Staszak. 975 or on Instagram at Joe Staszak 4799. Good stuff, Steven. We'll catch you in a couple days.
Always a pleasure,
You
Joe.
too, pal. Appreciate you watching, folks, and we'll see you next time.